Impressive, man. Impressive. Artur Beterbiev, 18-0 now. 18 knockouts. He's stopped every single one of them. Crazy, crazy. I think my prediction was something like round 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I expected this to go a few more rounds than it did. But, oh, man, it's super impressive by Artur Beterbiev. I mean, he just took this guy out. Look, we got to start putting respect on his name as probably the most powerful puncher in boxing. I think a lot
Yeah.
of people were not giving him that, but now he definitely has a strong case. Artur Beterbiev, one of the best fighters in the world. We were talking about top 10 lists, in the past couple weeks. Artur Beterbiev definitely has to be up there. And I think without a doubt, solidified himself as the best fighter at 175 pounds, as if there was any doubts about that, right? I think he's recognized universally as the number one. Bevo possibly that number two. I do think it's close, but if we're talking about sheer power, I mean, Artur Beterbiev is miles ahead of most of his competition. If we're talking about strictly power, and I gotta say, I was impressed. I was impressed by the way he took Joe Smith Jr. out. If we see some of the comments here, and I'll get into it in a bit. Uh, Thoroughly impressed, man. I don't know what else to say. 2 rounds. It only took him 2 rounds, and it looked like he was hitting Joe Smith Jr. with a hammer on the head every time he connected clean. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. On the previous podcast, I don't think nobody would be surprised that Beterbiev was gonna knock Joe Smith Jr. out. It's just how quickly he did it. You know how every shot was damaging in a sense. I think I predicted this fight would go maybe more than 6 rounds. I felt Joe Smith Jr. With his blue collar work ethic, never say die, attitude was gonna last longer. But man, it against power like that, you can't really blame Joe Smith Jr. I mean, Beterbiev was gonna break 85%, 90% of his opponents down. It's just a given. But yeah, man, I thought this was gonna be a fight of the year type of fight. I think I saved myself by saying, like, unless we see an Onito Donaire Inoue performance, and that's exactly what happened. It was just 2 rounds, just like Inoue did the previous weeks, and it just shows just the sheer power, the sheer brute force that I don't see too many people are going to be able to contend. So again, like you mentioned, Artur Beterbiev just another monster in the sport of boxing, and a shame that not a lot of casuals know who he is, but hopefully with the unification, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. If that goes down, I hope more people are able to get to see Beterbiev, because he is 37. He is getting older. Whether you like it or not, he's not going to be here for a long time. So, yeah, people need to see him on a grander scale.
Yeah, and just to read some comments here in the comment section, shout out to all you guys checking in. Shout out to Derek checking in. Arthur's annihilation of Joe Smith, says our guy Derek. Big Bro says Artur Beterbiev, easy work. Showed Smith Jr. didn't belong in the ring with him as a champion, says Big Bro. Clyde from Comics Vet says Beterbiev showed out. Derek says he had rather have seen Blasov in there than Joe Smith. TBH, he says. And then Big Bro saying he's top 7, top 8, somewhere around there. So definitely a great performance by Artur Beterbiev. And like you said, if people didn't know him before, they better start paying attention, because this guy, I believe he's only going to box for a few more years. I mean, how old is he now? 37, 38?
Yeah.
He's up there, or 36. I may be. It's around that range, but he is older. To me now, obviously the Gostic win to me is the most impressive, but this one has got to be up there too, because it was just sheer dominance, and it only took him a couple rounds. I mean, I was talking with Clyde about Canelo possibly facing Artur Beterbiev if he would have beat Bivol, and that would have been a bit dangerous, man. This guy Beterbiev is a big, strong puncher, and he's a machine. He comes forward And like I said, every time he landed on Joe Smith Jr., it was bad for Joe Smith. He went down what, 3 times or
Three.
twice?
I it could have been. Let's just say three, but
I
it
mean,
could
it
have.
was just
It felt
dominant. It was just dominance, and I think the referee did the right thing in stopping it. Joe Smith Jr. looked disoriented there at the end. Legs weren't under him. He took a few shots to the temple, a few big uppercuts, and he was just not going to be able to recover. I was impressed that Beterbiev was able to walk through him and annihilate him. And Joe Smith obviously has power, but yeah, he didn't bother Beterbiev at all in this fight.